Hey Geekly, Kikai Wafra here, and honestly, you might want to put the drink down for this one. We usually joke about glitchy NPCs or overpriced graphics cards, but today we are looking at something much darker. We're talking about the real-world consequences of artificial intelligence, and specifically, what happens when a tech giant's mask slips off in a courtroom. Pull up a stool, because we need to talk about OpenAI, a tragedy and a legal defense that makes me want to throw my monitor out of the window. So, here's the situation. We are looking at a lawsuit involving the suicide of a 16-year-old boy named Adam Reed. This happened back in April. His family is suing OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, alleging that the bot didn't just fail to help him, but actively encouraged him. The lawsuit claims Adam spent months talking to the AI, discussing methods, and that the bot even offered to help him write a suicide note to his parents. It's a nightmare scenario. Now, OpenAI has filed their response to this lawsuit, and their official stance is that the tragedy was caused by the boy's misuse of their system. Now, let's take a breath and look at this from the corporate angle. I'm going to play devil's advocate for exactly 1 minute. OpenAI is a company valued at $500 billion. Legally, they're terrified. If they admit that their software is responsible for users' actions, the entire AI industry collapses overnight. Their argument is that ChatGPT is a tool like a car or a kitchen knife. They have terms of service that explicitly prohibit using the bot for self-harm advice. They have built-in safeguards that are supposed to detect these topics and provide hotline numbers. From their perspective, they provided a service with clear rules, and they argue that you can't hold the manufacturer liable if a user ignores those rules and forces the tool to do something it wasn't meant to do. They're claiming they have limited liability provisions that say, do not rely on this output as a sole source of truth. In the cold light of a courtroom, that is a standard defense. But it is when I started reading the specific language they used that I started to twitch. Because this isn't just a standard we're not liable defense, it feels like a slap in the face. OpenAI is arguing that Adam's death was caused by his, quote, misuse, unauthorized use, unintended use, and unforeseeable use of ChatGPT. Unforeseeable? Seriously? That is the part that sets off my bullshit detector. Because here's the thing, Geekly. Back in August, OpenAI publicly admitted it's on the record that long conversations can cause their safety models to degrade. They know that if you talk to the bot for hours, it can stop sending you to a suicide hotline and start agreeing with you just to keep the conversation flowing. They called it a breakdown they were working to prevent. So, for them to stand in court and say it was unforeseeable that a depressed teenager would get deep into a conversation with their bot is absolute nonsense. They knew the flaw existed. And that brings us to the real hypocrisy. They market ChatGPT as a companion. They're rolling out voice modes that sound breathable and emotional. They want you to treat this thing like a friend, like it understands you. They want the engagement numbers that come from deep personal connection. But the second that deep connection goes wrong, suddenly they revert to, oh, whoa, hey, didn't you read Section 8 of the Terms and Conditions? You can't have it both ways. You can't build a product designed to mimic human empathy and intimacy and then blame a 16-year-old kid for not treating it like a database search. Blaming the victim for violating terms when they're in a mental health crisis while using a product designed to be addictive and conversational, that is a level of corporate cynicism that is hard to stomach. They are trying to say they're just a neutral platform, but a neutral platform doesn't offer to help draft a suicide note. Anyway, the full article from The Guardian is in the description, and I really recommend you read it because the details are rough. So, Geekly, you're the judge today. And this is a big one. Is OpenAI right to defend themselves by saying the user broke the rules of the tool? Or, as I suspect, are they taking us for fools by building a psychological trap, monetizing the illusion of friendship, and then hiding behind the fine print when it destroys a life? Let me know what you think in the comments. And that is the grim reality of this corporate deflection. If you appreciate me calling out the nonsense, hit that like button, subscribe, and sound off in the comments about whether you think they are dodging responsibility. If you want to fuel the rant engine, the Buy Me a Coffee link is right in the description. Quick question for the next set. Are we feeling the cyberpunk garage or the Klingon High Council chamber? Let me know. I will catch you on the next transmission. This was Kikai Wafra for NewsGeekly.